Good day. Today we are going to talk about management, mismanagement, leadership styles, and what's the difference. In one of the other segments, I presented to you the functionalist view of organizations, of management. What does management do? What's the function of management? And I said it was to make it effective and efficient in the short and in the long run, for which it needs to provide the PAEI and I roles. Here they are. That we covered in another segment. And you should have discussed already that those roles are incompatible at the same time. They discourage each other, they undermine each other. It's very difficult to be effective and efficient in the short and in the long run, all in the same time. It's not easy. For instance, can an organization be effective and not efficient? Sure. Usually startup organizations are very effective but not efficient. They are managing by the seat of their pants. And they're not very efficient, they're very wasteful. Everything is testing things out, learning from experience. They'll be chasing the client to make the client happy, but sometimes at a tremendous expense, even losing money in doing so. Can an organization be efficient and not effective? Absolutely. Bureaucracies are efficient and not effective. In order to be efficient, they program, they routinize, they systematize everything. And then it's like playing tennis. They are best in doing it this way. Now they say to the client, send me the ball here. What does it mean? We satisfy only those needs that we are capable to do efficiently. And if the needs are a little bit different, it is their problem. The ball is there, we don't care. We just go through the motions. We are efficient, but not effective. Some bureaucracies, I tell them, you need to be more, in order to be more effective, you need to be less efficient. To be effective and efficient in the short run, which means to hit the ball in the most efficient way, that takes a lot of training, that takes a lot of work. It's not an easy thing to do. Same thing for an organization. To be effective and efficient, you need to identify the clients, you have to systematize the company, how it satisfies those client needs, and sometimes to be more effective, you have to let go of the efficiency. Sometimes to be more efficient, you have to maybe not satisfy all the client needs exactly the client wants it, because efficiency has its own requirements. And to do that in the short and in the long run, wow, even more complicated. In order to be effective in the long run, you might have to be less effective in the short run, etc., etc. You discover that in another segment of this program. What we should do now is to say, since these roles are incompatible at the short time, they cannot be performed simultaneously at the same time by the same person, what do we need to do? Well, let's discuss what will happen if for whatever reason a person is capable of performing one role but not the other three roles. This is extreme cases. I call them archetypes. These are archetypes. A person is providing one role, performing one role of management. All the four are necessary, and all the four are sufficient for good management. But because it's so difficult to do all of the four, a person, let's say, performs one role at the expense of the other three and is zero on the other three. Let's take the first case. This person performs the P role very well, excels in the P role, but is zero on A, zero on E, zero on I. How will this person manage? Let's discover his style. Now, please realize definitions. If a person has zeros in the code, any zeros in the code, here's the next one, 0 on P, 0 on E, 0 on I, or 0P, 0 on A, 0 on I, 0P, 0E, 0A, all of the three. If you have a zeros in your code, you're a mismanager. Here is a manager. Here is another manager. They are managers, they are not the outstanding ideal manager who can perform all the roles, but they can meet the threshold needs of every role. These are managers, these are mismanagers. We'll talk about what a leader is later on. But a manager is capable of performing all the roles, although they excel in some and they're weak in some, which in other words, they're human. They have strengths and their weaknesses. Let me give you another manager. This is even a better manager. Excels in 2 roles, does not excel in other 2 roles. I can even imagine some unbelievable leader or manager who is successful in 3 roles, but don't expect all the 4 roles. That's too much to expect. This is normal. This is exceptional. This is unbelievable. And this is frequently encountered, unfortunately. These are the mismanagers who have zeros in their code, and they cannot perform all the 4 roles to the threshold necessary. A normal manager will have some strength and some weaknesses. That's human. Welcome to the club. Now let's discuss the styles. Now when I discuss this P style, the difference between this and this is only 1 of degree, please. So I'm talking about the P style, whether it is this one or this one, okay? Because the range, the difference between being normal and abnormal is only 1 of degree. Normal people are just diluted abnormals. So we have to be sure that we can describe the abnormal in order to understand the normal, okay? Well, let's discuss it. How will this first type, the exclusive P, or the more P than anything else, strong in P role, perform? How this person manages? Now let's not forget what P is. P means task-oriented, doer. He wants to satisfy client needs. He's there to serve. He's there to do. He's very responsive. However, and he got promoted. He got promoted to management because he's the best salesman you have. He's the best engineer you have. He's the best accountant you have. He's the best doer, achiever, result-oriented individual. However, now that this person is a manager, what happened? He's very weak on A. He's not an administrator, he's not an organizer, he's not a follow-through. All this paperwork drives him nuts. He's not an entrepreneur, new ideas, new directions, new possibilities. He's a railroad engineer. Show me the tracks, give me the train, and let's go, do. Don't confuse me with too many things to do. Let me tell, what do you want me to do? Let's go and do it. And he's not an integrator, he's not people-oriented, he's not sensitive. He or she is just a doer. And a very good doer, outstanding doer. How does this manager now, who is going beyond just doing, he has to manage other doers now, work? What is his style? Let me ask you a question. Does this person work hard? Yes, absolutely. When does he come to work? Early. When does he leave? Late. He's not a LIFO, not a FIFO, which is an inventory control system. First in, first out, or first in, last out, last in, first out. He's neither a LIFO nor a FIFO. He's a fish. First in, still here. This guy is working around the clock. How is his desk, by the way? Is it clean? Absolutely not. He has all the paperwork, messages, he's always swamped with work. Too much to do. When he goes home, eventually, when he goes home, what does he carry in his hand? An attaché case with work. Why? There is more work to do. There is always work to do. Does he like to go on vacation? Absolutely not. It's like an alcoholic. An alcoholic is never far away from a bottle. He has a bottle stashed in the glove compartment, in the living room, in the kitchen, in the bedroom, in the office. He's never far away from a bottle. This guy is like an alcoholic. That's why he's called a workaholic. He's never far away from work. When he has to go on vacation, it's like sending an alcoholic to a dry island. He goes on vacation, and what does he carry with him? The computer and the cellular telephone and everything, just, God forbid, not to be too far away from work.